Hi, how are you guys?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. How's everybody doing?
Doing good.
Um,
Good. Hey, we're all done with class for the evening. Just kidding. Everybody took class today. Hopefully.
yeah, this morning.
Okay, that's good. All right, so I will give it just a couple minutes before we start for anybody who's still logging on. All right. Got my screen share working this time, so that's a good start. All right. Is everybody ready for Christmas? No, I see Alice shaking her head. Better get started because we're getting a snowstorm supposedly. Maybe. Are we ready for that?
No,
No, not.
never ready for that.
I know. It seems a little early this year, but that's okay. All right. At least we'll have a white Christmas. There's the silver lining, right?
Yes, that will be so fun.
It's been a while.
It's
So
gonna be 12 degrees, so no one's gonna want to go outside.
that's well, it'll be pretty to look at though. So it'll be all good. We'll be fine. All right. So I'm going to give it just another minute and then we'll get started. So we're talking about 3 things that could be slowing your progress and what you could do to overcome them, especially this time of year. We're not ready for Christmas. It's here. The weather, all fun things. All right. All right. So I will get started, ladies. Are we all ready? We're feeling good?
Oh,
Okay. I was like, feel free to respond anytime. I don't feel like I'm talking to myself, but all right. So we're talking about the 3 things that are slowing your progress and what you could potentially do to overcome them. So I think we've all kind of felt that way, like we're not making progress, we're going hard, we've been seeing some progress in the beginning and then we're like stuck in a rut. We're not gaining any ground or seeing any improvements. And we're going to kind of talk about why that might be happening and what you can do when you start to feel stuck. Everything seems like really simple. We know what we're supposed to do. But a lot of times it's just like the lack of consistency in and out of the gym. And it's more behind the scenes that kind of throws our progress. So a lot of us live a fast-paced lifestyle, especially right now, like I said, with Christmas, and it's impossible to stay consistent all the time with the things that we should be doing, but we want to stay on top of things so we can get the results we're looking for and we're not feeling like we're stuck in that never-ending circle. So we're going to talk about the 3 things that we need to address besides being consistent. But the big things that I think we all have struggled with in one area or another is lack of sleep, lack of sufficient energy intake, meaning not eating enough, and lack of consistency. So I kind of like touched on that in the beginning, but we're going to kind of take a deep look into all 3 of those things, and we will start diving into those barriers now. So the first one I mentioned was lack of sleep. And please feel free if you have any questions at any point to just like stop me and say, hey, I want to know more about this. We can make this as interactive as possible, so I'm not just talking to you guys the whole time. But lack of sleep is a big one that will slow our progress. So we need to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night as a healthy adult. And if we're getting less than this and it's happening multiple times a week, you're not going to have enough energy to get you through your workouts. And you're also just not going to have that recovery time. You're going to have that lack of recovery. That's where your body is repairing and restoring. And it also causes hormone disruption, and that creates a lot of complications. So I hear people say this a lot, like, I only need 4 hours of sleep and I'm good. And I'll kind of throw this out to you ladies. Who has said that before? Like, oh, I'm good. I got 4 hours. I can function on that. No, I see Laura shaking her head. You need your sleep, right, Laura? Well, a lot of times, and especially I'm sure it's happened this week, you're like, oh, I'm not going to get enough sleep tonight. But when you're consistently not getting sleep like that, it really adds up. So it really affects your ability to handle stress, food cravings, exercise, and like I said, especially recovery. When you're not sleeping, your cortisol level is elevated. That's your stress hormone. And leptin, which tells your brain you're full, is decreased. Ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone, that's increased. So when you're not getting enough sleep, all your hormones are out of whack. You feel more hungry, you're stressed, you're not satisfied, and it just kind of, you're cranky too. I know I get cranky on lack of sleep, which is never fun. So the big question with that is like, how does it affect your progress in the gym? I know we had talked about hormones. I mentioned the cortisol, the ghrelin, and the leptin. So you kind of want to be aware of all those things, but how does it affect your recovery? If you're not getting your consistent 7 to 9 hours, you're just not going to recover as well. When you fall into a deeper sleep, your blood flow begins to increase, which expedites the process of moving oxygen and nutrients throughout your body. And this is where your muscles are repairing and recovering, you're regenerating cells, and that's going to allow you to get stronger and recover over time. So when you're not getting that sleep on that consistent basis, you're really like disrupting, we all want to have more muscle. That's where that comes into play. And sleep also helps you prevent injury, and it maintains your energy levels. So if you're really tired and you're pushing yourself in a workout, you're just more prone to injury that way, which is, we always want to be careful. Deep sleep is where you're releasing your growth hormone too. So if you're not getting in that deep sleep in the night, that's going to be affected as well. And growth hormone is what stimulates your muscle growth, and that's what helps you burn more fat. So super important to make sure we're getting enough sleep. If you are, you're going to you reduce your cortisone levels. And remember, that's the stress hormone that can affect your metabolism. It affects your recovery and inflammation in the body. So you really, really want to make sleep that factor. And we'll kind of talk about things we can do if we are experiencing a lack of sleep. So who is not getting enough sleep these days? I'm dying to know. Anybody? Do any of you ladies struggle with sleep?
100% me.
I don't know who said that. Who was that? I'm sorry.
Christiani.
Oh, okay. So especially now, and I will throw out there, like, if you have one night of bad sleep, we all have that. It's more where you're not consistently getting enough sleep. So you always want to aim for that 7 to 9 hours, but life does happen. So if you have one night where you didn't get a good night's sleep, that's okay. It's really, you just don't want that happening on a regular basis. So we're going to talk about a couple tips that you can do to give yourself a good night's sleep. The first one is to set a sleep and awake cycle. So you want to have a set schedule as part of your day. It gets your brain and your body in a routine of sleeping for the amount of time your body needs. So if you're super used to going to bed at a certain time and then you're out late, how many of you guys are like maybe out? I know this happened to me the other night. I was out like past 10 o'clock and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm really tired. Like, I need to go to bed. But you want to like get your body into that routine. So have a set wake up time, regardless of whether it's the weekday or the weekend. You really can't make up for that lack of sleep if you're getting, I said one bad night's not horrible, but if it's consistent during the week where you're only getting like 4 hours Monday through Friday, and then you're sleeping Saturday and Sunday, you can't really make up for that lost time. So you really want to try to be consistent on the weekend as well. And you want to make it a priority. So it's tempting sometimes to skip sleep so we can work or study or Netflix binge or even work out. But if you do have that night where you've only gotten maybe 3-4 hours, you might want to consider getting that extra couple in the morning before even going in for that workout. Because like I said, that could make you more prone to injury as well, because your body's just in that fight or flight mode. So if you do want to adjust your sleep schedule, you do want to do it gradually. So you don't want, kind of like half hour to an hour at a time. And be mindful of naps too. Naps can help you, but you do want to make sure you're keeping them short and like early in the afternoon instead of like closer to that bedtime where it might kind of keep you awake if you nap too late at night. Do you ladies have a pretty consistent bedtime? Are you good about that? Or do you get caught up in Netflix and all that fun stuff? I know this week's probably just wrapping and that kind of thing, but what do we think? Are we good about going to bed, waking up at the same time?
Yes. 9 o'clock, 4:30.
All right. That's pretty good. So I won't keep you. We have plenty of time. No, I'm just kidding. A couple other tips to work on your sleep. You want to make sure your bedroom is like the ideal setting. So you want to have a comfortable mattress and pillow. I mean, that's huge. You don't want to have like a sore back or be uncomfortable when you sleep. Have like sheets that are cooling, you don't want to be too hot when you sleep either. You want your room on that note to be like a comfortable temperature. You want to block out any heavy lights. You can use like those light blocking curtains or even an eye mask if you're comfortable with that. I tried that, but Caesar didn't like it for some reason. So that did not last, but it's kind of nice. You can also think about using a white noise machine if that thing like will help calm you, like the ocean waves. Earplugs if you have like a lot of noise, if your bedroom or you just hear noise. My husband uses those because our bedroom actually bumps up to North Aurora Road. Luckily, they put in a sound wall now. It was never an issue for me, but he always had to use earplugs. You can try like just essential oils. Lavender is really good at night to like promote relaxation. And the big one too is just kind of try to avoid any screen time before bed. So especially like staring at your phone, that blue light. I know we all probably like scroll, check Facebook, Instagram, but you do want to try to put that screen down at least an hour before bed. I think that's probably the hardest one. Who likes to scroll before they settle down for the night? I see a couple hands. I'm hoping that whoever I can't see is just smiling too, but those things will really help. You do want to stay consistent with your routine. Kind of just follow, like I said, that same schedule every night, have that nice, relaxing bedroom environment. I wish that was my bedroom. It's not, but it does look very peaceful. Like I said, set that time aside for winding down, avoid the screen. And you can also throw in activities that might make you relax. So like instead of looking at your TV or your phone, just some light reading, some stretching, hot tea, not too late, make sure it's decaffeinated. Even just listening to like some kind of spa music in the background. But all of that stuff, meditation, if you have an app, I like Headspace or Calm, those are all things that will kind of help you relax and just settle in for a long night's sleep. So what do you ladies think? Are those some things you can start incorporating into your routine that you think will help you settle down for the night? Maybe. I see a nod. I'll take it. All right. So we talked about sleep. That was number one. What we're going to talk about next is not eating enough. And I went backwards on my slide, so we'll go forward. This is a big one I hear all the time. Like a lot of people will think 1,200 calories is a magic number for losing weight. It is not, especially when you're working out hard. So we're going to talk about properly fueling our bodies. So if you're not eating enough throughout the day, you're going to have decreased energy levels, and that is going to reduce your recovery as well. If you're eating fewer calories than your body needs, your body will start to break down muscle to use that for fuel, and it will store fat. So that is why sometimes you'll see in those body scans where your muscle mass will go down and your body fat will go up, even though you lost weight. If over time, if you're not eating enough, it also slows your metabolism, and it can just make it harder to lose weight overall. And it's kind of going back to what we said earlier about recovery and sleep. Nutrients move through your body during sleep. And what happens when there's lack of nutrients there? Our body isn't going to be able to recover. So you really, really want to make sure that you're eating enough calories. So if you're under eating, we're more than likely not taking enough protein for muscle protein synthesis either. That's a tongue twister. Muscle protein synthesis. So protein is the building block of muscle. I tell you ladies all the time, make sure you're getting enough protein. It's made up of amino acids that help to grow, maintain, and repair different cell tissues in the body, aka your muscles. So if you're not getting enough, your muscles aren't going to grow, and it really stops you or hinders your progress despite how hard you're working out. So you have to think of it as a whole picture. In addition to the protein, when you're cutting your calories too low and reducing your carb intake, that can create other complications for your body. So I'm going to tell you, I always say this, carbs are your primary source of energy. They're not your enemy. If you cut carbs too low, you won't have enough energy to complete your workouts. So low carb diets, if you're not doing the high intensity training, can be okay. But when you're working out a lot, when you want to be more active, you really, really need those carbs. So like I said, if you're cutting them out or cutting them too low, you're not going to have enough energy to fuel your workouts, and your brains need carbohydrates to function too. And that's going to help you get that good night's sleep. So they also spare protein and muscle tissue, and that'll allow you to see some of those gains in the gym. So definitely try to get those carbs in. And like I said, focusing on protein. And we'll kind of talk about what we can do to start fueling properly to reach our goals. So how many of you think you eat enough or too little? Is that kind of something you struggle with? We're all very quiet.
I have no idea. That's what I wrote in the chat. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
I
And I
really
will
don't
look at
know.
the chat. Yeah, I just saw that. So, okay, well, I see this. So most of you ladies have done your body scan. When you look in the corner, it has your BMR, your basal metabolic rate. That is a baseline of your calories, how many calories it takes you to function without any other activity. So if you go to a website, it's called TDEE, that stands for Total Daily Energy Expenditure.net. This is just a good way to give you a baseline of where you should be at, especially if you do have your BMI, because you can put in your exact information. If you go to TDEE.net and you plug in I think it's your age, your weight, your body fat, it does give you a pretty accurate, and you can look of where your calorie range should be in terms of what your goals are. And it will give you depending on how active you are. So obviously, if you lightly work out, or if you work out a lot, or you're more sitting, it kind of gives you a range. And it is pretty accurate. That's a good baseline. You don't want to be too low of a calorie deficit, especially if you are highly active. But that's kind of a good range. You can kind of see how active you are there. Does anybody have any questions about that? I saw Alicia plugged it in. So I will say, especially if you do have your body scan, because that gives you a pretty accurate measurement of your body fat percentage, the results seem to be pretty accurate. I've compared it to my Oura Ring, which kind of matches your BMR, and it's been pretty spot on. So you guys can check that out. And if you do have any questions with it, let me know. We can go over it together. I will definitely help you with that. So a couple other things we can do to make sure we're fueling our body properly. We want to start to plan our meals ahead. So once you kind of have that idea of what calorie range you should be in, and again, let me know if anybody wants help with this. I'm more than happy to help. You can kind of start to plan your meals, and doing this will help you from skipping them or eating foods that don't support your goals in the gym. And that's a whole nother webinar Zoom topic, but we're going to keep it to this. There's a lot of ways you can prepare your meals ahead of time. Meal prepping, you like just making overnight oats ahead of time, prepping your protein, batch cooking like quinoa, rice, just having that stuff ready to go. And you want to make sure that your meals and your snacks contain a good balance of protein, carbs, and fat. So you do want all three of those macronutrients in there. And you kind of want to plan fueling around your workout. So aim to have those carbs, that protein, like I said, right after your workout, where your body is refueling. And you want to prioritize that protein and fat, like especially right there. That's like the optimal time to have them. Can add in a protein shake, that's like 15 to 30 grams right there. So that's an easy way to get it in after your workout too. Do you guys have any other questions on this? This was our number 2. So we had lack of sleep, not getting enough calories. I'm going to move on into number 3, which is going to be lack of consistency. So this is really common. It's basically motivation. So you want to make sure that you're setting yourself goals and that we're setting ourselves realistic goals. So coming into workout, that's amazing and you feel good, but when you don't have a solid goal for yourself, we tend to fall off. And success comes from, like, motivation comes from success. So the more successful you are, the more progress you see, that kind of gives you that motivation to keep going. So you do want to have some kind of goal, even if it's just to maintain what you're doing, to have more energy. But when you have those goals, it's going to kind of help give you that motivation to kind of keep you going, even on the days that you don't want to. So like I said, once you start to work out, once you start to see progress, you just have a greater drive to keep going. So you just kind of want to think about it. It's like, you're not always going to be motivated, but when you have that success, it definitely breeds that motivation. And a lot of times when we have like barriers, they're kind of just excuses that we like have to overcome. So you just want to take a minute, kind of sit down, make yourself some goals, like a goal and a commitment, and you want to make sure it's a SMART goal. And you want to include, like, your goals can be like scale wins and non-scale wins, just as like feeling better. You have more energy when you're going up the stairs, or you're able to chase your kids around. So you just want to make sure that I forgot to change my slide, setting goals, but they're specific, they're measurable, they're achievable, they're realistic, and they're timely. So that's what I kind of meant by that SMART goal. You want to make sure you're setting goals. So say you have a goal to lose 20 pounds. It's not realistic to say you're going to do that sustainably in 2 weeks. Is it possible? Yes, it's not healthy, and you are 90% likely to gain that back. A realistic rate to lose weight is really about 1 pound to 2 pounds a week, but 1 pound is probably where that expectation is for sustainability, and about 1% of body fat as well. So you want to think about, like, short-term goal could be more like, I want to have more energy going up the stairs, and my long-term goal is to lose 20 pounds, but I'm going to give myself a good four months to do that. And I want you to just think about that. Just kind of write down a goal. And how many of you have one that you want to share? You can type it in the chat if you want. Anybody? It helps to make it a little interactive, right? We all have goals. And even if you don't want to share it, that's okay. You can write it down to yourself. So that's just another way. So we talked about the sleep, the getting enough fuel to properly fuel our body, and just being consistent. In terms of just setting your goals, a big thing with consistency is a good support system. So a good way to combat that is to just have a good community. Luckily, we have our Delta Life community. Studies find that 95% of people who start a fitness program with friends or with a tribe of people, a group of women, they're way more likely to complete it than people who don't, who people then take it on their own. So luckily we have a great community of women. I feel like we've all found our tribe. We're all on the same page. So that's something that's really, really important too. Last barrier that you might face when it comes to that consistency is just time. So there's only 24 hours in a day. I know we wish we could have more, especially as we're getting close to the holiday. I wish I had an extra 5 hours every day. But sometimes we just kind of get really busy, and the workout kind of gets thrown like, oh, I'm going to come next week. I'm going to, it's really, really easy to get in that habit to put it off. Lack of time is a reality for a lot of us. So you want to try to set a goal, going back to the goal of at least coming 3 days a week. And that's going to just help you stay more motivated, and on track. It's 30 minutes. We got to stick with it. Got to get that movement in every day. So we just want to make sure that we're making that time for ourselves and not putting it on the back burner. So what do you think, you ladies, and we'll kind of go back to this, out of the things I'm talking about, like the sleep, the fueling your body, the consistency, what is the one thing you struggle with the most and that you're relating to?
I struggle with being consistent, like at work, because I'm so busy at work and I'm like, I need 15 more minutes and I'll go get some water, or I need, I have lunch in an hour, and then 2 or 3 hours pass. I miss my meal, I miss my water. And it's like, I get so upset with myself. So I just need help. Like this, I set little timers and stuff, but even that, I'll hold off going to the bathroom to the last second just to finish.
Yeah. And that's the third part. Like, it's hard to you get so caught up, and, it's easy to say these things and you're even setting the reminder, but it's like, you do get caught up in the moment. I hear you. So what's one thing we can do to help that? You want to find someone that can help you be accountable. I know we talked about that. We all have a great support system, but what we are going to do, and I'm going to kind of throw this out there, what you were talking about, Kina, is we're going to be actually launching a nutrition challenge and coaching going forward at Delta Life Fitness. So the number one thing you can do to start seeing that progress, to help you stay on track with all these things we were talking about, is just to find someone that you can help support you and build a plan while helping you feel accountable, but also feeling supported. That's the big thing. So Delta Life, you guys, we're excited to announce we partnered with Healthy Steps Nutrition. And we're going to bring you ladies a nutrition challenge and nutrition coaching coming in 2023. So Healthy Steps Nutrition is pretty amazing because it's a holistic and habit-based approach to developing your fitness goals. And I'm going to talk to you just about a few of their principles and some of the things, like what I mean by a holistic approach. First one, and this is kind of going back, is adding whole foods into your diet. And these are just little things that, we can do in support of fueling our bodies properly. That's a big one. Making sure that we're picking non-processed foods. You want to pick foods that'll fuel your body. We talked about the protein, the carbs, and the fat, but we're looking for non-processed foods, not packed with fat, sodium, sugar. That's all the super palatable stuff that you'll become addicted to. Kind of touched on this before. Another principle they have is just focusing on the balance of those macronutrients to help you feel your best. You want to make sure every meal, every snack has protein, carbs, and fat. So you want to keep that all balanced. And then the last one is limiting the amount of added sugar you consume daily. So it kind of jumped ahead a little bit. This is kind of just the three principles. And what we're going to do too is just take a holistic approach to your health and fitness in general, because it's not one thing. It's all those things I talked about before. It's the sleep, it's the fueling properly, it's the consistency, it's the time we get stressed out, it's the support system, it's the community. So I'm throwing a lot of information at you ladies. So you're probably asking, where should I start? That's the big question. How are we all feeling so far?
Still overwhelmed.
All right, we're still holding on. All right, so the biggest thing that you can do is just take these simple steps, prioritize everything, start slow, and you can't aim for perfection all at once. So the thing is, once we kind of start these things, and I know like, you had said, like, you're setting your alarm, you're trying to remember to drink water, to eat lunch, to get enough sleep. If you're doing all these things at the same time, it's overwhelming. And then we're just like, we fall off. So you really, really want to pick one thing and focus on that to start. And you want to make it something that you feel 80 to 90% confident that you're going to be able to stay consistent with it. And then once you have that nailed down, you build onto that from there. So we're going to take a habit-based approach and focus on one thing at a time instead of that all or nothing approach. And that's why a lot of us, and like you had said, Kina, that's why a lot of us are just like, whatever, I'm like all over the place. We're going to slow it down and we're going to build it up gradually so we can keep it consistent. So I'm going to go back again. We're really, really excited to announce our nutrition coaching program, and we're going to be kicking it off with a 28-day challenge starting in February. So I'm going to minimize a couple of things. Oops, I'm going to go back to that one slide because I can't see. Hold on one second. So sorry about that, ladies. All right. So anyway, I'll kind of talk. We had partnered with Healthy Steps Nutrition. We're bringing the nutrition coaching and the nutrition challenge. And Healthy Steps has helped over 40,000 people kind of take control. You can kind of see some of the results here. We already have the fitness thing down. You ladies are all amazing. But when it comes to these goals, we really, really want to take that habit-based approach, that holistic approach, and make sure that we're taking all these things that are going to really give us that success that we want. So we're going to be launching this 28-day nutrition challenge. There's going to be 30 spots available because this is going to be new. Luckily, you ladies are all on tonight, so you have first dibs. You're going to work with me individually as your coach. We're going to have goal setting sessions in the beginning and then at the end of the 28-day challenge. And there's going to be group support in this to keep you accountable. So you're going to sit down with me individually. We're going to talk about your goals. You're going to have that group support, like I said, which is a huge thing. I think we all feel better when we have that group support. You guys will be able to click a link to sign up and join. I will be there the whole way to keep you accountable. And then this is just some of the other things that are included in the challenge. Like I said, you're going to get that initial consultation with me, as well as an end of challenge in-person meeting. You'll have group accountability, and we'll have an app for you ladies just for this nutrition challenge. You'll have access to over 1,000 healthy recipes. We'll be giving everybody sample meal plans. You'll have weekly virtual check-ins with me and weekly videos to help you with that progress. And we're going to be talking about, the holistic approach to get to those health and wellness goals. Like we went over some tips tonight. Again, I don't want you to think you have to start doing all of these things tonight or tomorrow. It's a gradual thing, and that's what we're here for, to help you ladies on that goal, like on that path. So if you are interested in signing up for the challenge, it will be kicking off February 6th. We're giving the whole month of January to prep for it, but there'll be a lot of stuff before then. Just exciting announcements. If you do sign up for the challenge before New Year's, you will get a deal. It'll be $159. That'll be your locked in pricing if you sign up before January 1st. You can sign up after January 1st. It'll just be an extra $10, so $169. So if you are interested in doing the challenge, getting that accountability, the group support, and we'll be breaking all this other stuff in details. And then after this challenge is over, if you're interested, I'm going to be offering ongoing nutrition coaching as well. So if that's something you're interested, you'll have me as your coach to help you with anything that you need help with. So if you ladies have any questions, let me know. Start typing it in the chat. How are we feeling about everything? Are we up for a 2023 challenge? Everybody's so quiet. I believe Alicia's on here. I saw Laura say, how do we sign up? So Alicia, I'm just going to ask if you have the link because I didn't see it. So.
We don't have a specific link. All you have to do is next time you're in the studio or text us, I can add you and sign you up already, Laura. We have a big whiteboard that we've actually just put up today. You'll see that in the studio. All you have to do is write your name on the whiteboard and we'll get you all set up.
Perfect.
Does that mean you're in, Laura?
I am, but unfortunately, I can't come back to the studio because I had some surgery on my shoulder.
That's
so-
all right. We can sign you up. I got you. So if there's
just
anyone
please
else who wants that,
put
feel
me
free to just
down.
text us,
Yeah.
email us, however, just let us know you're in and we'll get you all set up.
Yeah.
So Jordan's in,
Awesome,
Laura's
Jordan.
in.
Yeah, and this
Awesome.
one, just because it is our first one too, we have been going through nonstop training, getting ready for you ladies. Like, we're super excited about this. I can't wait to work with all of you guys, but we are keeping it to 30 just because I want to make sure that I give you guys the best support too. And we'll go from there. So I want to make sure that you guys feel that you have the best support. So I'm excited. I hope you all sign up. Again,
Yeah,
this is the
it's
big
going to be
picture.
awesome. I mean, Nikki's really been working hard on this, a lot of study, her and Courtney and everything going in. I think you guys are really gonna love this. It's a great way to, you know, kick off the new year and things like that. So
Yeah,
like
and even
Nikki
though
says,
it's gonna
it's
start
holistic.
in the new year, we're gonna be having or it's not gonna start till February 6th, but we are gonna have things in January leading up to it. There's gonna be like a whole kickoff before we do it. You're gonna have access to an app. We're gonna be setting like a goal setting workshop to go over all of this with you, where we can, I know we kind of touched on that, like setting those SMART goals. So that'll actually be a workshop where we can do those things together as well, to make sure that we're all on the same page there. And you ladies know I'm pretty much always at the studio. So if you ever have any questions about anything, you can obviously reach out to me anytime. But we're super excited about the challenge and bringing it to you guys. And then just the ongoing support in general.
I got
Like I
one.
said, I just kind of want to Kina kind of hit that nail on the head. When you're like trying to do all these things at once, you just get overwhelmed. And that's too when we just tend to fall off. But the support system, focusing on one thing at a time and really nailing it down, that's where you're really going to see that success and kind of get out of that rut that we get stuck in. So kind of open it up here to any other questions you ladies have. You can throw them in there. Not, I'll be there in the morning. Anybody? You guys are all so quiet now. I see some typing though, so that's good.
Yeah, everyone who's popped their names down there, I'll get you guys all signed up, pop your name on the whiteboard, get that all sorted for you. So we've got plenty of staff, I think, already signed up as well. So yeah, we're well on the way to 30. So don't wait.
And then just did you ladies have any questions about anything else we talked about earlier too? Just anything else I can elaborate on for you? And like I said, if you need help with that TDEE website, if you're kind of like, there's a lot of information here, I'm not sure, you know, where I should be at, you can always pull me aside. Even just message me. Most of your body scans are uploaded in MindBody, so I can always like take a look at it too, if you need me to.
Will you want us to do a scan before we start?
Before the challenge?
Yeah, before we start the game.
Before the challenge, it's not totally necessary. Are we doing the scans before the challenge?
So we will. So the week before the challenge starts, so Nikki will have her time slots where we start doing the individual appointments, where you do your goal setting, you do your body scan, all that kind of thing. So it'll be about a 20-minute session. You have the week before, and then the Saturday before it all starts, we'll have a big like kickoff with everybody, where we get everybody, you know, ready, prepared, and for the challenge, that kind of thing. But there will be body scans that you'll do that week before we start the challenge. So you get your baseline, and then we'll do the others at the end when Nikki does her, you know, final wrap up with you all. So there'll be the 2 body scans there in that month.
And if you had like a really recent one too, you don't have to, like, if it was within a couple weeks, like you don't feel like you have to, you know, was my point. Like if you have a
Yeah.
recent one, but if you don't have a recent one, we'll definitely go off that as your baseline.
And
So,
so should we buy the, like, is that
It's all part of the challenge.
Okay.
It's all
just
part
one
of that
sec.
package there, so you'll be all sorted. And so those of you, I've got Laura here, Jordan, Jen, Kathleen, Gretchen already. It'll probably be who's on tomorrow, Rory or Courtney, reaching out to you guys, and we'll make sure we schedule, and Michelle, I see there, we'll make sure we schedule those introductory appointments already for you guys now, so that you know you've got your time, you've got everything locked in. So we're ready to go. Obviously, if you need to change it closer, so be it, but we're going to secure everybody's spots because Nikki's going to have those 30 people to get through in that week.
yeah, but I will make sure I'm available for you ladies, so no worries.
Yeah.
Well, I texted Denise. I'm gonna make her sign up too.
Bring
Wait,
all
she
the
might-
friends, right? It's gonna
There you go.
doing it with friends always helps.
It
Yeah.
does.
Well, and
totally.
we will have that group app. So this will be a separate app from Delta. You'll have access to the Healthy Steps Nutrition app, where we'll like be able to set like those habits, those goals. It's actually a really cool app. I'm using it myself now. So I'm excited for you ladies to have access to that.
Yeah. And I saw some of you mention My Fitness Pal there. The app links with My Fitness Pal as well.
Yeah.
So
Bonus.
that all ties in.
And I'm glad you guys are excited. It's perfect way to kick off the new year. And like I said, this will be something we'll have ongoing support from here on out. So we're just excited to bring this to you ladies because like I said, it really is that whole picture. It's not just one thing, you know. Wish it was that easy, right? Right.
Nothing's easy.
Exactly. All right. All right. Did you ladies have any other questions for me or Alicia since she's on? Thanks, Alicia.
I have a question. Alicia, how are you feeling?
I still feel good. I mean, I'm really tired. I'm sleeping like a lot, like
Good.
hibernating. But other than that, I still feel great. So yeah, we'll see. Things are happening. So I'm just hoping this snowstorm doesn't bring any babies on.
Oh, yeah. Don't they say the barometric pressure and everything can
alter it, yeah.
I just feel like they'll be like, that's the time. Let's do it when there's a foot of snow outside. So
Okay, well,
So
I'm
question,
gonna
on
see
this
it.
challenge, is it important to be there consistently for working out?
As consistently as possible. Yes, you
Okay.
do want to try to get those in. But even if you can't make it in the studio, you know, I know sometimes things comes up as you're getting a workout in, but we'll go over all that. But yeah, you do want to get in. It's not like a requirement though for the challenge or anything like that.
And it's actually a really good question, Gretchen. So, I mean, this is open to people outside of Data Life as well. You know, if you guys have friends, if you have, you know, husbands, partners, whoever they may be, they don't have to be members of Data Life to participate in the nutrition program and ongoing things like that. So, like Nikki was saying at the start, you know, having that support system is awesome. You know, it's a huge part of this. So if there are other people in your guys' lives who you think may also benefit from this, who you'd like, you know, or who are interested in participating, they don't have to be Data Life members to do this challenge and
Okay.
our ongoing nutrition
Yeah, I was going
program.
to see if Tegan wanted to, but she's got such the conflict with work getting there consistently.
So yeah, she's more than welcome to participate.
I'll talk
Like
to
Nikki
her.
says, this is going to focus on the big picture, not just the fitness
Yeah.
element.
Perfect. Thank you for that.
Hi, I've got a question. I'm just wondering with this nutrition program, are there going to be meetings like Zoom chats, or is it all in person?
So the meetings with me in the beginning, at the ends will be in person, and then you'll have weekly virtual check-ins with me as well.
Okay.
I'm also at the studio all the time, as you ladies know. So anytime you need anything, please feel free to reach out.
Yeah, I'm just wondering
But
how.
yeah, that will be like, it will be like a set weekly virtual check-in, and then we'll have those in-person meetings before the 28 days and then after the 28 days as well.
I guess just one side note to that, like Sheen, if you happen to be traveling or someone's away or something like that, it's not to say that we can't do those introductory and final appointments, virtually over Zoom, if that's something you were kind of wondering with that. If possible, we'd love to do them in person, but that is an option if, someone has constraints for some reason, or you end up sick or whatever it may be, we will provide that option if necessary.
We'll be flexible for you.
Mhm. Thank you.
You ladies got anything else for us, or how you feeling? Who's excited? Looks like we got a few people excited. So. Is that a question for Nikki there, Michelle? How did she get into fitness and nutrition?
Oh, is that for me? Oh, yes. Sorry. I've always been into fitness, just like a side note. This is how it started. My parents are 18 years apart in age. So my mom is gonna be 70 this coming year, but my dad is gonna be 88. And he works out like a madman all the time and is like in amazing shape. And he's been like that my whole life. So he's kind of the reason I've always been into the fitness part. Just seeing, like, he was always like the older dad when I was young, and I have to, he's in such good shape. So I was always into the fitness part first. The nutrition part kind of happened afterwards, because when I was younger, I thought I could out eat a bad diet too, and eat and drink whatever I wanted, and catches up to you. And then I just really, really got interested in like what I was putting into my body, and just started studying and getting certifications, and just kind of went from there. Like, just, it's like that whole picture. But my dad was like my first thing with fitness, and then the nutrition, it just follows eventually. So, but now I just like, both of them are my passion. So I'm really, really excited for this, and just to be your coach at Delta in general, ladies.
We love having you as a coach.
Oh, thank you. Well, we have a nice lower body day tomorrow, ladies. Who's ready for that? If you went today, you might be making a face right now. That's okay, I understand. How are we feeling after today's peak workout? Whoever did it this morning. Good, hopefully. You guys are quiet now. There you go. Foam rolling is a very, actually, now that you said that, Jen, I might hit that. So.
You should do a class sometime on foam rolling and teach us
Yeah.
how to do it, because everybody talks about it, but I don't really know what that means.
Yeah, I mean, we can, or
Or
always
is it
open
just
to
like
that.
you roll your legs on foam or something?
Got on my notepad.
Yeah, you just, and you just have to really kind of like dig in and hit those muscles. But yeah, I'm definitely open to that kind of thing. Foam rolling, stretching.
Because like that guy stretched me the other day, which was great, but I can barely commit, to what I'm doing in my life. So it's like, I can't join your stretch club.
Right, you can't add another thing.
I do know that I don't stretch enough.
Yeah.
So, and that can really impact, the pains and stuff.
Yeah,
that I
for
have.
sure.
I know
Uh,
it's all a lot to do with stress, because if your quads are too tight, then it can impact your knee, and so, I would
Foam
like,
rolling is helpful, even if you can, like, you know, you don't have time to go, like, you can Google or YouTube like a restorative yoga class, like one that will like help stretch. You know, if you have time to throw in, even if it's just like a 15-minute stretching routine, that's what I try to do. I could be better about it too, but yeah, there's always an area where it's hard, you know, it's just hard to get everything in, but even if you could just throw in like 15 minutes, I always like Google restorative yoga specifically. You don't want like a power yoga where you're doing another workout. So
okay, that sounds good.
yeah. There's some where they'll make you hold like a good pigeon pose for 5 minutes, and that'll loosen your hips. So
Yeah, that stretch thing was good, like, man. He was like moving my legs, and I was like, oh my God. But I first of all, I don't know how you could ever do that on your own.
that's where you have to ask your husband to help, and hopefully nothing breaks. I
Swing
don't
my
know.
leg over. Let's yoga by Adrian. Is that online? Or is that a place?
Sorry, I'm muted. It's YouTube. Go to
Oh,
YouTube.
Okay.
She's got like all levels. She's great.
yeah.
All right. Is it-
Definitely a good thing to throw in, especially when you are like lifting heavy. Foam rolling is good, but yoga, I really like to recommend that, even if you could just add it in a little bit. Like I said, you can't necessarily go to another place, but there's so many YouTube videos and like classes. I use an app called Down Dog. Like you can find a lot of stuff in the comfort of your home. My problem is trying to do it and Caesar sits on me, but that's another story. So. Right. Any other questions, ladies? Are we all feeling good and we're excited?
Sounds like we're good. So
All right.
we'll
Well, if you
Thank
do-
you.
wrap things up.
Oh,
Thank you.
If you do have any questions, please reach out anytime. We're always there for you. I'm so happy you guys popped on the Tuesday night before Christmas, but now we're really excited to just roll this out, and you'll have a lot of information coming. So thanks again, ladies, and I will see you all tomorrow.
Have a great night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye, guys.
How do I get out of here? I forgot. Oh, leave.